Hello guys, I'm back from another video and today we're talking about what if Deku was in RWBY. So in the last video we talked about how after waking up we currently see Izuku basically, getting out of his bed as he would start changing his clothes. After arriving at, class, you would notice that, well, Blake is not there. And after a while of waiting and also asking some of his classmates, including Weiss, which she seems to be quite hostile towards, Blake for some odd reason now, as, they would say that they couldn't, see her or couldn't find her. And after a while, they would decide to basically try and find her. After doing so, all of them would basically split up, as Izuku was basically paired up with Blake. Not Blake, I meant RWBY, I meant, for some... Anyway, so, as because, RWBY is being picked as, Izuku's partner, well, to the dismay of the other girls, well, he has to leave with them, with RWBY immediately before, some fight happens. So, after doing so, everybody would just be seen basically doing their own thing, basically trying to find Blake, going through the city. For her and also Izuku, they would go to different shops, which, where usually, Blake would go, as they would find out that apparently she's been going with another, person, aka the Faunus from yesterday, or known as the Monkey Faunus. So, after a while basically finding some clues, they led, to a dead end. Apparently the, worker there, or more specifically the librarian, didn't really saw her doing anything, and then she left. She didn't really get any information, so yeah, unfortunately they were basically at a dead end at this point. And because of that, both of them are currently, over there, aka a nearby park. As after a while basically waiting and also, thinking, they would be approached by another person. In this case, the girl from yesterday, aka Penny, as after introducing herself and also introducing herself to, to Izuku was, let's just say, well, pretty weirded out by her. I mean, after meeting with her the first time, well, he was still pretty much weirded out about her. I mean, just, why does she act like that in many ways, he would start thinking to himself, but either way, after a while talking to her, she would decide to basically help them by using, for some odd reason, her, her scroll. Apparently she has some sort of tracking app which allows her to basically, track anybody. And after getting a description about Blake, well, she would basically, send it to them and would basically, tell them that apparently Blake is at a nearby, warehouse. So, after arriving there, they would see Blake fighting against, some thugs, specifically white fang thugs, and in the middle, or at least in the, actual, leadership role, is Roman Torchwick, which Izuku would start thinking in his mind, why the fuck is he here in his mind? And by the way, he would also think to himself, why are they even working with the guy? I mean, he's obviously not really fond of Faunuses himself. He would start thinking in his mind, but either way, he would decide to jump in and using his, his animal path to basically summon, a large-ass bear. More specifically, a panda. And I'm really sorry that it... God dang it. Guess I'll just try out that thing anyway. As after doing so, he would basically jump off as, RWBY and, and Penny would basically help out, basically taking care of the, White Fang members. As for, a certain girl, aka, the Monkey Faunus would basically, just be surprised seeing them, including the large panda bear that's basically beating down some of the members, until Roman Torchwick has to, fight Izuku one-on-one. As Izuku would basically bring out a, axe as he would start running away, obviously afraid because he's not really used to this type of combat. And he's also thinking to himself that if his, adopted daughter, aka, Neapolitan is going to be marrying the guy, well, he's definitely not going to, get a, good impression on the kid, at all. So, yeah, after a while of basically running, he would go to the bullhead and would basically start escaping. And while he was escaping, Izuku would decide to use his other ability, specifically Universal Pull. As while he was doing so, Roman Torchwick would decide to, tell one of the, operators of the Bullhead to basically fire at him. After getting shot by, by the Bullhead, well, everybody thought that he was dead. Oh boy, they were wrong, as a large-ass, long-ass hand would basically appear. Like, the arm would be super large. Like, not really large, more like, pretty long, as it would cause everybody to just be in shock. As you would see, Izuku basically enveloped in his Susanoo, which is pure white with, reddish eyes. And after, showing off its techniques, including, its, double-jointed arm, it's more like, it has, like, like, where the elbow basically links to the, forearm, right? Well, he has two other arms, similar to, like, yeah, Madara's, like, regular old, like, humanoid Susanoo, not the armored one, yeah. So, just imagine that, as after, basically wielding up his arrow and also the, bow, he would basically scream out its technique, known as Hachimon's arrow, as a spark of black lightning would basically appear around it and would, somewhat destroy, the bullhead, but thankfully it was able to escape. Not really. I mean, they were instantly afraid seeing the large explosion that happened beside them, which, caused a bit of damage to it, but thankfully they were able to escape. And so, after doing so, Izuku would basically tell all of them that they should probably get back home, and the police are there. Oh boy, and let's just say one of them specifically, an angry ass, good witch. Well, let's just say she's not really a good witch, but like a good bitch to say the least. And let's just say she's not really happy right now seeing them basically gone into trouble. And so everybody would basically left and would basically go back home. After arriving back home, everybody would basically fall asleep. Except for Blake, as Blake would basically, wake up in the middle of the night and would basically kiss Izuku on the forehead, basically saying this to Izuku: "Thank you for accepting me for who I am," she would say. And because of that, her eyes would basically become hard eyes, and yeah, and so we basically ended off the episode right off there. So yeah, let us talk about what happens next. So, as Izuku would wake up, he would basically wake up early in the morning. As after looking at his phone, he would notice a few text messages from Osbin. As he would basically tell him that in the morning, tell Team RWBY to basically come to the office, including him. As after hearing about this, he would basically just sigh and would basically get ready for school, including the rest of his, of his teammates. And after doing so, they would arrive at, at their classes and would basically, just be there just doing their whole thing, basically doing some of the classes, including combat class. And after doing so, it was finally lunchtime. After that, everybody was told to basically go to, to the principal's office, specifically Team RWBY. As after doing so, while they're basically leaving, they would hear, "Food fight!" As he would start thinking to himself, "Yeah, thankfully we're leaving," he would say to himself. As after leaving, we currently see them basically at, at the office, aka, Principal Osbin, or whatever you want to call it. Basically, that's basically what it is. So, after arriving at the, at the principal's office, Osbin would say this: "Ah, you're finally here," he would say. As Izuku would say this: "So, what is it?" he would say. As Osbin would say this: "Well, as you all know, apparently now that, Team Cardinal doesn't have a leader now, well, there's now a spot. And because of this, Izuku," as after saying that, Izuku would say this: yeah?" As he would start thinking in his mind, "Yeah, I already know," he would think in his mind. As he would say this: "You're going to be the brand new leader of Team Cardinal, or actually, why not rename it," he would say. As after saying that, all of the girls would just be wide-eyed as they would say this: "Wait, Osbin, why not? I mean, can you at least let Izuku basically just, stay with us a little bit longer? I mean, it's much better than, working with them," said, a somewhat, hesitant Wise. Which, caused, all of them to basically be surprised. As some of Team RWBY's remember, some of Team RWBY's, members would start becoming a little bit angry at her, thinking in their minds, "Don't you dare try and steal them." Like all of them would just say in their minds. As Osmond would say this. Well, unfortunately, Izuku's now the, I guess you'd say like, the only member that doesn't really have, or at least, that seems to have, well, a spot for him. So because of that, because Cardin is no longer here, now Team Cardinal is going to meet a brand new leader, and so Izuku Midoriya is going to be it. And after saying so, Izuku would say this. Yeah, sorry guys, so I have to accept. I mean, why not, he would say. As one of them would say this, but you can still visit us, said, a somewhat, wait for a a somewhat, hopeful, Weiss, as he would say this. Yeah, I'm still able to basically hang out with you guys. Especially you, he would say to Blake, as Blake would start to blush. As Yang would say this. Yeah, so if you're going to another team, make sure try not to, get their attention, she would say. Wait for a second. Sorry about that. Anyway, continuing on with the episode, as, as after saying that, Izuku would say this. What do you mean by that? He would say, as she would say this. Oh, nothing, she would say. As, RWBY would say this. Yeah, try not, to let them, boss you around, she would say. As he would say this. Yeah, don't worry, besides, I'm not really the type of person to be controlled, he would say. As one of them would say this. Yeah, you better be, said, Weiss. As she would start to have a somewhat worried face, as he would say this. Yeah, okay. As after saying that, she would say this. Not she, I meant he, aka, Osmond. Now, as this, meeting is adjourned, well, all of you, or more specifically, just, Team RWBY, just go out. I'll be calling in Team Cardinal for you, or at least used to be Team Cardinal, he would say, as he would say this. Alright then, he would say, as after saying so, he would start to leave. So, after that, we currently see Izuku basically waiting in the office. As while he was doing that, he would basically go scrolling on his scroll, as he would get a few text messages from, Neapolitan, or Neo, as you'd say this, or at least text. Hey, Neo, what is it? As she would say this. Well, can you, hang out with me later? She would text, as he would say this. Sure, but I'm currently being transferred to a new team. As after saying that, she would say this. Or at least text. Oh, really? What happened? As he would explain. As she would say this. Or at least text this out. Yeah, just make sure to try not to get too much of their attention. As he would say this. Yeah, I know, and why do most of my teammates keep saying that, or at least former teammates? As she would say this. You probably don't know why. As he would say this. What is that supposed to mean? As she would say this. You're absolutely dense, she would say. As she would say this. What is that supposed to mean? He would just text out. As she would say this. Whatever, she would say. Hope to see you later. As after, texting that out, he would say, yeah, see ya. As after doing so, he would basically pocket his scroll. After doing so, he would start, looking through social media. As after looking through, I guess you could say like their equivalent of like Facebook, as he would notice, a few like videos, mostly from. As after a while basically waiting, he would notice the door would open as he would see 3 girls. One of them seems to be a girl with a mohawk, green hair, the other one with, closed eyes similar to him, when he's not usually wearing his mask, and the final one being a girl with, darkish bluish hair, wearing some simple armor, as she would say this. So, this is our new leader, said, the girl with the mohawk, as the girl would say this. Wait, that's the guy that beat up Cardin, she would say, as one of them would say this. So, he's our new leader, said, the blue-haired girl, as he would say this. It seems so, he would say, said Izuku, as, Osmond would say this. So, because you're the new team that I'm going to be making, so because of this, I'm going to be making, a new name for you. So, what do you want to call yourselves, said, him, said, wait for a second. said, Osmond, as he would say this. Hmm, how about, as after thinking so, he would think of this. How about Team Discolor, he would say. As after saying this, he would say this. Discolor, he would say. As he would say this. Yeah, why not, he would say. I mean, I don't really think of any names that literally start with an I, and also have the other words, or at least the other letters. Let me just check again. God dang. Yeah, why not this color? I mean, technically, there's no like, cardin, as in, for the C of like cardinal, but still, I keep finding like words that literally start with like I and then like end with the other letters, but I can't find any. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna be calling it this color. So after saying this, he would say this. Fine then, this color, he would say. Welcome to Beacon, he would say. As after saying so, one of them would say this. So, you're our leader, said, the closed-eyed girl, as he would say this. Yeah, so, hi, he would say. As after saying so, one of the girls would basically step up, as she would say this. Specifically, the mohawked one. The name's Rachel Trust, said, the mohawked girl, as he would say this. Izuku Midoriya, he would say. As she would say this. Well, we already know your name, said, her. As he would say this. Oh, really? He would say. As she would say this. Yeah, I mean, you're basically famous, she would say. As he would say this. Oh, yeah, that must be the video, he would say. As she would say this. Yeah, you're now given the nickname here on campus as the demon-eyed, or at least the eyed demon. As after saying that, Izuku would say this. Eyed demon, he would say. As she would say this. Yeah, I think it's because of your eyes, said, Rachel. As he would say this. I see. As you look towards the other girls, as one of them would say this. The name's Dove Bronzewing, she would say. As the reason why I decided to keep her name is because Dove seems like an already feminine name. And the other one, aka the blue-haired girl, would say this. Hi, you can call me... The name's Skyla Lark, she would say. As he would say this. Hello, Skyla, he would say. Looking towards, the girl with the, with the bluish hair. As she would say this. So, I hope we can become great teammates, she would say. As after saying that, Osmond would say this. Alright, girls, and, boy, in this case, for you. As he would say this. Yeah, he would say. As he would say this. I think it's time for you to leave now. Now, just go back to your classes, and after saying so, they would basically start to leave. So, after leaving, they would basically go into the elevator, as it's currently an awkward silence. And I'm probably going to be making this a pretty short episode because, my schedule is pretty much booked, especially with, studies. Stupid high school shit, sad. Anyway, continuing on, as Izuku would say this. So, what do you guys want to do? He would say. As, Skylar would say this. Well, I'm just gonna go to the mall. As, one of them would say this, specifically Dove. Yeah, I'm also going with her. As he would say this. Oh, I see. Then I'm also probably gonna hang out with some people. As one of them would say this. Really, said, Rachel. As he would say this. Yeah, I have to go with a friend of mine. Her name is Neo, she would say. He would say. As one of them would say this. Don't tell me that you have a girlfriend, said, Dove. As he would say this. Well, she's not really a girlfriend of mine, but, she's more of a friend than anything else, he would say. As one of them would say this. Whatever, she would say. As after saying that, he would say this. Anyway, so, where's our, or at least, our new, or at least, where I'm gonna be staying. As she would say this. Well, we'll bring it there later. For now, we're gonna be continuing class. As after saying that, he would say this. Oh, cool then. As after saying that, all of them would basically start leaving to go to class. So, Class was pretty normal, except for most of the people there basically looking at them. Mostly towards, most of like Team Cardinal, or at least the old members, as in, Rachel, Dove, and also, Skyla. And let's just say they're currently being, ostracized. Like, ostracized at this point. I meant, ostracized. God dang it, my freaking ostracized. Or ostracized. Or whatever. You basically get it. So, after doing so, we currently see, Izuku basically just like, leaving with the rest of the girls. As after leaving, wait for a second. As we currently see Izuku basically leaving with the rest of the girls, aka his brand new team, basically, after class. After basically walking through the campus, he would hear the sound of like a voice. More specifically, a familiar one. Hey Izuku, as he would look back and would see Pyra, as Izuku would say this. Oh, hey Pyra, as she would say this. Hey Izuku, so, hey, are you like free tomorrow? As after saying that, he would say this. Well, I'm pretty much busy, unfortunately, so, when, maybe like, later then. Or at least next time. As she would say this. Oh, I see. Then, as she would look towards the other girls, as she would say this. Wait, Izuku, why are you with them? After saying that, he would say this. Well, they're my new teammates, he would say. As after looking at them, she would say this. Really? She would say. As he would say this. Yeah. Because, Cardin is no longer, no longer a part of the school, I'm now the new leader of this, new group. And because of that, because I'm originally a part of a 5-man team, well, they decided to balance it out and let me become their brand new, leader. As she would say this. Oh, I see. Then good luck, I guess. And by the way, if you have any time, we can go hang out, right? As he would say this. Yeah, sure. After saying so, she would basically start to leave. As for Izuku, he would look towards the rest of the girls, as he would say this. Alright girls, then we should probably start leaving now. As after saying so, all of the girls would basically agree. And after doing so, he would basically start to leave, going towards, where his old, his old, dorm room is. As after packing his stuff, he would see the rest of the girls, more specifically Team RWBY were there, as one of them would say this, specifically, Weiss. Hey, Izuku, do you need help? Said, Weiss, as he would say this. Oh, no need, he would say, as he would basically, use, his not gravity, I meant, Deva path to basically, float them up into the air, thanks to help with the gravity manipulation. After doing so, he would see the rest of the girls basically look at him, as he would say this. Is there something wrong? He would say, as one of them would say this. Yeah, just be careful, she would say. I mean, they're still pretty much a part of, Team Cardinal. Or at least used to be Team Cardinal, she would say. As he would say this. Yeah, I know, but still, they're not really that bad, he would say. As she would say this. Just make sure to try not to, get into a fight or do anything with them, she would say. As her eyes would become, a little bit, more malicious. As Izuku would say this. Yeah, sure, he would say. As after saying so, he would basically start to leave. After leaving, we currently see the rest of Team RWBY, as all of them would agree that if, any of his new teammates were to do anything, and I mean do any moves on them, well, they would basically punish them. All of them would agree to themselves. As after packing all of his things, he would start moving towards, their new dorm room. As after opening the door, he would see the dorm room seems to be quite clean. As Izuku would say this. So, where's my, room, he would say. As one of them would say this. Oh, we're basically gonna stay together, so you're gonna be sleeping on one of the bunk beds, she would say. Specifically, Skylar Lark. Or that Skylar Lark. As he would say this. Oh, sure then. As after unpacking some of his things and putting it in the closet, he would say this. So, I'm probably gonna sleep on that one, he would say. As one of them would say this. I guess that's a good choice, said, specifically Dove, as after saying that, he would say this. Yeah, I guess that's a good idea, he would say. As after saying so, he would basically start climbing up the bunk bed. As after basically, getting to the top, he would basically lay down, as he would say this. This feels nice, he would say. As he would look towards the bottom, and he would see, Rachel basically going under the, bottom bunk, as he would say this. Then, good night, guys, he would say, as all of them would say, good night, all of them would say, and they would basically turn off the lights. So, after doing so, he would say this. I hope, nothing bad is gonna happen, he would say to himself. As after saying this, he would basically fall to sleep. So yeah, I'm gonna be ending this episode right off here because I'm gonna be doing an assignment of mine. Which, by the way, god dang it, why did they have to, announce it, right after, when I was about to start recording? Seriously, what the Anyway, so, I hope you liked the video, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!